Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. I'm an AI specialist, and my focus is right in your world, the hospitality industry. A huge welcome to all of you, the students of the Europe Hotel School, for joining this online session. What we're going to talk about today is honestly one of the most critical things for your future careers. We're going to look at how we build a leadership pipeline that's truly built to last, one that can handle whatever comes its way.
All right, let's get into it. For decades really, picking the next generation of hotel leaders has been, let's be honest, more art than science. It's felt like this high-stakes gamble, right? Based on a gut feeling, who you know, that kind of thing. But here's the deal. In today's hospitality world, just going with your gut, it just doesn't cut it anymore. So what we're going to explore is how we can stop gambling and start using an intelligent, data-driven strategy.
So you can really think of this as a tale of two methods. We're literally moving from one world into another. The old way? That was all about the gut feeling, you know? Super subjective, based on who you liked, who you had a good relationship with. But the new standard, and this is so central to what you're learning, is all about being data-driven. It's objective, it's measurable, and you know what that means? It's just so much stronger, so much more resilient.
Okay, so one of the biggest problems with that old model is this hidden trap. It's called proximity bias, and it's something we all do naturally. It's this tendency to favor people who are, physically close to us, or people who think and act like we do. Just think about it for a second. You could have this absolutely brilliant hotel manager in, say, Singapore, who's just getting completely overlooked for a big role by executives back in London. Why? Simply because they're out of sight, out of mind. And this isn't just a problem for diversity. This kind of bias literally puts a ceiling on a company's potential.
And look, the consequences of getting this wrong, they are huge, and they are very, very costly. There's a term for it, vacancy risk. It's the actual price a hotel pays for an empty leadership chair. Think about it. When a key role, like a general manager, is vacant, it's not just an empty box on an organizational chart. We're talking about thousands of dollars in lost revenue every single day. Guest satisfaction scores take a nosedive. The team is left floating without any real direction. The cost, both financially and culturally, is just immense.
So that's the problem, right? The big question is, how do we actually solve these issues of bias and risk? Well, this is where it gets really exciting. This brings us right to the heart of our session today, intelligent succession. Let's really look at the incredible advantage that artificial intelligence is bringing to the table.
And this isn't some far-off future concept. The solution is here, and it's already being used across the industry. We can now use AI through really sophisticated HR platforms. A great example is SAP SuccessFactors, and I guarantee many of you are going to come across this in your careers. What these tools do is analyze huge amounts of performance data to find those high-potential employees with an accuracy that's just unprecedented.
Okay, but to really trust a system like this, we've got to understand how it thinks, right? It's easy to imagine AI as some kind of mysterious black box that just spits out answers. But it's not. So let's actually pull back the curtain and see exactly what kind of data the AI is looking at to make these recommendations.
What the AI does is build this complete, multi-dimensional picture of an employee. So it's not just looking at one good quarter. No, it's analyzing performance consistency over a long period. It's taking in 360-degree feedback from peers, not just a single manager's opinion. It even measures something called learning agility, which is basically how quickly someone can learn and adapt to new challenges. And get this, it can even assess flight risk, which is the likelihood that one of your star employees might be about to leave. It's a totally holistic view. It sees the whole person.
Now, this is maybe the most powerful part of the whole thing, transparency. The AI gives you what we call explainable insights. It doesn't just say, hey, this person is a good fit. It actually shows you its work. It tells you why. So look at this example for John. This isn't an opinion. It's a conclusion built on solid data. He's finished 95% of his leadership training, his team's engagement scores have jumped 15%, and his skill in financial forecasting is at an expert level. See? All the subjective guesswork is just gone.
Okay, so let's circle back. Remember those big problems we talked about at the beginning? Let's connect the dots now. When we use an intelligent, data-driven system like this, we see a real, tangible impact. We can actually start to reduce those risks and remove those biases that were just baked into the old way of doing things. And this chart, wow, this really shows the difference in a powerful way. If you look at the traditional methods, a hotel's succession bench, that's your pool of future leaders, it's often pretty shallow. Maybe only 30% of those people are actually ready to step up, and it's not very diverse. But now look at the other side. With an AI-assisted approach, that number can jump all the way to 85%. And that's not just a small improvement, that is a monumental shift. It completely changes how ready an organization is for the future.
So, what's the bottom line? The result is that you move from being reactive to being proactive. You're no longer scrambling when someone suddenly leaves. Instead, the entire organization builds this incredible resilience. You can be confident that the best, most qualified leaders are being identified, they're being developed, and they are always ready to step up the moment they're needed.
All right, for our final section, I want to bring all of this back to you. Because learning about these tools and these ideas, this isn't just some abstract HR theory for a textbook. This is about you learning how to build a real, lasting legacy of leadership at whatever hotel or company you join. It's about making sure that excellence is intentional, that it's created by design, not just discovered by chance.
So I'm going to leave you with a really important question to think about. As you get ready to step into this amazing industry of ours, ask yourself, how will you use this way of thinking? How will you make sure that the leadership in your organization is something that's carefully designed and never, ever just left to chance? Thank you so much for your attention today.